heads. Welcome back to another episode of Cigar Chat. I'm your host, Trip, here with my co-host, Jason, as always. And we're here talking to Scott Kolesaire, brand manager for AVO Cigars. First, I'll ask Jason first. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. We got some sunshine going out. We're smoking an awesome cigar tonight. Looking forward to it.
I'm just realizing that this is the first episode since daylight savings, and it's actually light out right now.
It is. I don't have to have a bunch of weird lights all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. And Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here with you guys. I said the same thing with daylight savings time. I was like, whoa, it's earlier than I thought. But here we are, and super excited to be with you guys and all the Cigar Federation viewers. And here to talk about an exciting year for AVO Cigars. So.
Definitely. So let's see. Okay.
Sorry. I had a brain pause for a second there because it said Facebook. I keep a little window so I can keep an eye on your guys' comments and stuff. And it said preview in the corner, and I was like, wait, did I mistime this? But no, it's on. We're good. So of course we're here talking about AVO Cigars. The important thing this year is that it's the 30th anniversary of the brand. So let's start off just by talking about how the brand started. How AVO kind of started the brand and, how it got to where it is today.
Absolutely. So, AVO, those that know, AVO is a man. He was a musician, a jazz musician, a pianist at first, and really was doing that for the majority of his life. And he was in Puerto Rico at the time. This is back in the 80s, and he was playing at jazz clubs at night, in the evenings, and he was giving out cigars to everybody. And when they would come to see him play, first thing he would do is say hello and give them a cigar. And people would be like, oh, okay. And his process behind everything was, when people smoke a cigar or sit down and enjoy it, they really get to unwind and relax. Mm-hmm. And he thought that was just such a benefit for his viewers, his fans sitting there, and the way his music came out. So he was doing that for a long time, and actually his daughter, who is only a few years old at the time, I think 6 or 7 years old, had said, Daddy, why are you giving these out? Why don't you sell them to people? Why are you giving them away? So he's like, oh, okay, and never thought of doing something like that. And again, back in the 80s, it wasn't like it is today, where people were making cigars all the time for other people and all that. So he's like, let me see what I can do. And he had asked around, talked to some people, and the name Henke Kellner came up, and he was based in Santiago in the DR. So he's like, I'll go see him, and he jumped on a plane, went up, and met with Henke. Very small operation. This is pre-Davidoff days, and said, here's what I'm looking to do. Here's how I use a cigar. I smoke cigars every day, but I really want it for people. I want something inviting. I want something that everyone can enjoy, even if they don't smoke cigars, right? And Henke works his magic, does his thing, and brings back a couple cigars for AVO to try, and AVO is the best cigar ever. Super thrilled. Thank you. And they hit it off anyway. They spent a few days together and literally became like best friends off the bat. It was one of those things which can tend to happen with a few good nights with AVO. He was always one of those guys it's like that's my buddy, and he's got me, and all of that. So with that being said, went back, gave out had his own cigars. Henke made him some, brought him back, started giving them out a little more, and people were actually raving about them. And then as it went on, he's like, okay, let's see if I can maybe sell this with my name on it and all of that. And the first time he sold a cigar officially to a retail shop was in 1988 at Davidoff Madison Avenue. And that is when the brand AVO Cigars was really started, and that's what we're celebrating today, 30 years later, is the history of that, and the whole excitement of from 1988 till now. So it's been really a cool ride, and started with AVO just handing out cigars for people to enjoy to his music.
Awesome. And I know the Fed heads are dying to learn about the giveaways, so I'm going to give it a couple more minutes for people to join before I start talking about that. I forgot to mention at the top of the show, I mention this every time, but we're, of course, live on Facebook, brought to you around the world on the Armed Forces Radio Network, and then, of course, available as a podcast or on the old YouTube. So let's go over some of the new stuff before I start getting into what we're giving away. So let's talk about, I mean, you've got, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to go over here. You've got a brand new brand, and then you're bringing back a couple of classics, and then kind of doing a limited rebranding, I guess, of some of your more recent cigars, right?
Correct. So it's kind of, how do we celebrate this year-long, this milestone, and of course we know that the AVO brand always kicks off with a limited edition, something brand new in March, which was always for AVO's birthday, which is March 22nd. So we had to have something new, and we've been since 2015, the last few years, we've been launching a product that fits within our improvisation series, which is basically we take one of our core cigars and add or manipulate, change the blend from what the pillar or the binder, could be wrapper, whatever it is, to make something completely different from the original, but still have a tie back. So wanted to kick off the year with that, of course. That was a no-brainer. And then as we go throughout the year, you get to revisit some cigars that fans loved, fans went crazy for them, but were no longer around. And they could have been regular releases that we did not bring forward into when we did the refresh back in 15, or it could be limited editions that were highly sought after and haven't been around for a while. And then to kind of end the year, it's a kind of a new look to our Synchro series, our newest pillar within the brand, and it's just something fun to commemorate the year, and that'll be our last release. So it kind of takes every other month. We basically have something new for people to enjoy.
I didn't realize they weren't all quite launching at the same timing. That's really cool. Jason Rhoda, Fast Jimmy, is already asking us to talk about the Maduro. We'll get there in a minute.
We'll get there, Jimmy.
So actually, why don't we start with the old stuff before we start talking about the brand new hotness?
I like it. So Jimmy wins. Maduro? Do you want to talk Maduro?
Yeah. So we're giving away a 4-pack of the. No, is this the Maduro?
Which one is that?
Yeah, this is the Maduro, right?
Nope. That's Heritage. That one's Heritage.
Maybe you didn't send me Maduro. I thought you did.
I don't think I did send you Maduro.
Oh, that's all right. That's right. You can show off the Maduros. We'll show off what we're giving away as you get to it.
Okay. So Maduros.
They're so good, he didn't want to send any out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I sent 2 for you guys you guys to enjoy, and then I actually, as we get them in, again, these are like my babies, my only boxes, and it's like no one can have them yet, So but I found a couple for you guys, of course.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure. So AVO Maduro, which will be launching in April, 4 formats, right? We have Robusto, number 2, number 3, and the Pyramids, which were the best, our best formats. There's your Robusto, there's your number 3. And what's exciting about this is we had a lot of people, who really loved AVO Maduro. It was one of their favorite Maduro cigars, one of their favorite cigars. And when we came back in 2015 and kind of revamped the brand, unfortunately we didn't bring AVO Maduro along into the next chapter, if you will.
Yeah.
And we actually got, more than anything, people saying, I wish you kept the Maduro, I wish you kept the Maduro. So when we knew we were going to be doing something special like this for 30 years, first thing on the list back was AVO Maduro, and We're super excited to have it. It's, again, everything we're doing this year is in terms of look and feel. It's forward looking, yet it honors the past. So even in our packaging, it's still the 25 count cabinet boxes, black like we had, but adding this engraved, acrylic lid, clear, adds a little more modern feel to it. 30-year, branding throughout, a secondary band with the 30 years on it as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun for people who loved it originally and haven't had it in a few years, and for people that have heard about it or read about it that maybe thought they would never get a chance to try it, and now they're going to be able to. So we're really excited about that, to kick that one off.
So is Fast Jimmy. And I'll say before we start talking about the giveaway, so I'll pull back the curtain a little bit. So what we're gonna do, I've got 5 different 4-packs of some of the blends that are coming back, and some of the 30th anniversary blends, and we're gonna give those away tonight during the show. So if you ask a question, you can win a 4-pack. These nice little packaged 4-packs that Davidoff is so great at making.
Yeah.
And then we have a couple of bigger giveaways that we're going to talk about in a few minutes, and that's going to be more of like a raffle style thing. I don't like to call it a raffle because you're not paying any money to buy a ticket or anything, but you're going to have 2 weeks to enter that, and then we're going to give it away on April 1st. So you'll have plenty of time for the bigger prizes, but if you want to win a 4-pack, get your questions in the comments down below. Jason, I'll let you head up the next question before we move on to talk about more of these blends.
So, do you remember when back before you were involved with the AVO brand, like what's some memorable AVO sticks from sort of when you were just a cigar smoker smoking them?
That's an awesome question. So for me, it's been a really cool ride being able to work with the brand and with AVO, the man himself, because I grew up on the retail side of cigars, right? So my family's owned a cigar shop for almost 40 years now, and
oh wow!
And I'm not kidding you. My first cigar ever, when I was 17 or probably 16 and a half, was an AVO. No joke, no joke whatsoever. So I loved the brand, loved what it was about. I sold it at retail, and it was always an easy sell. People loved the band, loved the AVO logo there, and we're always intrigued by it, especially newer smokers. Wow, that looks really cool. And an AVO Classic was always just a great cigar to start with. So for me, prior to AVO, I was, before working on this side of it, I looked forward to all the limited editions, and how I actually, let's say, got a start with Davidoff and the AVO brand was I went to the AVO LE10 dinner launch party at Madison Avenue, where AVO was going to be there and signing boxes. I paid $300 for a ticket for a box of cigars and some food or whatever it was, and we were like, oh, you're crazy, you're doing that. And, I was like, no, I want to go, I want to meet him, and, I want to see him and do all that. So while I was there, really hit it off with him, with AVO, which is actually not that hard to do. He's very...
That's what I've heard.
He embraces everybody, and Scott, come here. And then he introduced me to, at the time, the brand manager, the AVO brand manager, Eddie Simon, who actually is now Davidoff's the new CMO, who's based in Basel. And so coming out of that dinner, had talked to Eddie and said, I always wanted to be on the manufacturing side of cigars and everything. So that's what didn't ask for a job, didn't ask for anything, just said I'm interested in that side. And then a little while later, a few months later, I got a call, are you going to be at IPCPR? And I said yes. And great, we'd love to talk to you. There might be an opportunity, and that's how it actually all started. And then I was hired and started shortly after that, and the rest has been a blast. And being able to work with AVO, even when he was older, and that was such an incredible experience, and taught me a ton, not only about cigars, but about life and about people and about, just the experiences in general. So yeah, so it's been really cool. And when I was on that side, I mean, on the retail side prior to working with the brand, it was always look forward to AVO releases, always enjoyed the product. I enjoyed a ton of stuff. I smoked everything, everything there was. And but to have an opportunity like that was really cool. And again, it was one of those things that just happened by being at an event and doing all that. And it was really, really cool. Really cool. So.
Yeah, that's just an awesome way to it's an awesome story of how you got into the industry.
Yeah, and
I can't think of a better story than that.
It's so cool, and it's such an AVO story too. Meaning, AVO went through life. Nothing was planned. Nothing was. He just kind of went through. Okay, let's try this, or let's go here. And next thing you know, he makes a great connection with somebody, and it leads to the next thing, and it leads to the next thing, and it kind of happened like that for me in a way, and yeah, worked out great. 8 years later, and being able to launch this 30th anniversary product and all that would have never guessed, and I'm thrilled to be doing that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, I'm gonna talk about the raffle-y thing, the non-raffle, and then we'll get back into talking about cigars. So we'll be right back.
Brought to you by Gurkha Cigars. Gurkha Cigars, makers of the world's finest cigars. Try the 93 rated Heritage featuring Rosado, Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Dominican, Pennsylvanian, and Nicaraguan fillers. Blended by Gurkha's blending team at American Caribbean Cigars, it is hand-rolled Nicaraguan, available in 35-count boxes. Talk to your local B&M about the Heritage today, or talk to them about other fine Gurkha cigars. Whatever your taste preferences, Gurkha has a cigar that's right for you.
All right, and we're back at Cigar Chat, talking with Scott Kolesaire from AVO Cigars, and I told you guys I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're giving away and the raffles. So if you go to, let me find the exact URL, cigarfederation.com, and then, actually I don't need the exact URL. Go to cigarfederation.com, click on the big AVO logo in the middle, and down at the bottom there should be a raffle that's supposed to be live now. Let's see. I should have checked this while we were on break. Oh, I'll have to go start it manually, but it'll be open in a few minutes. You just have to go to our Facebook, go to AVO's Facebook, and then that'll enter you to win. It's kind of a standard raffle copter kind of thing. We're getting some good comments that are trolling Scott here that I'm going to get into. So the first thing we've got is 2 boxes of the brand new. So this is what Jason and I are smoking. We'll talk about this. I think we'll talk about this cigar next, just so you guys have an idea of it. The brand new 30th anniversary improvisation. So we've got 2 boxes. What's the count on these boxes? Are they 20 or 25?
25
count boxes. They come in I was showing Jason before the show. They come in a nice cardboard kind of protective case. And then you've got this gorgeous box we were trying before the show to see if you could pick it up on camera, but it just looks white. And there's it's like a weave, like a straw hat, right, Scott?
That's right. So it's to resemble, AVO's hat. Yep.
The ribbon around the edge. It's a nice box. It's got this cool little push button lock. It's so cool. Push it and man, it's getting all blown out by the light here. Why don't you show it off, since I should have tested my lighting situation a little better. There we go.
Am I better? I can't really tell. Okay.
A little bit.
All right, a little bit. So our first release, our first improvs, right, for this 30 years is a special limited edition, 25 count, double Corona format, and it is based on the AVO Classic number 3 format, and we've Eladio and Henke have worked on changing, updating and tweaking the fillers in there, and use some different tobaccos that give it a little more flavor, a little different taste than classic, and it's super creamy. It's super smooth. I mean, the finish on this thing, it makes you want more, right? Jason's getting to that point.
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's really good.
It's a great blend for the double Corona format because it's like this is something you want to smoke for 2+ hours.
That's right. That's right. It's not intimidating. It's not over the top,
but it does
you know,
ramp up as it goes on. I'm noticing,
absolutely. I
which
was
is
just gonna
perfect.
say, it starts
so you
off
don't lose
mellow and then it builds. It takes you on that journey, you know, and so it's a great one to start with, and kind of incorporating into the packaged some of Avo's what he's known for, his iconic let's say pieces would be the hat pattern, the weave from his hat, and this pattern here is actually a blown up linen style fabric that he's known for his white suits. So we were able to incorporate that into the package, as usually it's his birthday cigar and something like that. So we wanted to continue to have an element where he's a part of. So and this today is actually the first time. Today we just started shipping this to retail. So just the first few started going out the door today, and we're giving away. We have 2 boxes to give away, right?
Yeah, 2 25-count boxes that I've got that we're gonna. If you enter the raffle once I get it live, I'll try to do that if I can during the next break, or just while Jason's asking questions here. But first, we have to talk about the rest of the stuff we're giving away. So the other thing, I got to try to hold this up because it's huge. It's this like, it's this giant waterproof duffel bag, and it's got all sorts of goodies inside. It's got a couple of beach towels, a couple of metal coffee mugs, right?
Yes, we have two.
I'll let you go over all the stuff because there's a lot of stuff in here.
Sure. We have. This is a special bag, and it's really for our Ritmo for Synchro Ritmo when we did that, and we put together all things that go together with our Synchro series and with Ritmo in general, which is basically going off the beaten path, heading down, disconnecting in a way. So you have this beautiful Storm Tech bag that's completely waterproof. You can zip it up, seal it up, put it on your back, and go through the water, and all your stuff will be fine in it. We got some mugs in there that keep everything cold with some ice, and they're branded AVO and Ritmo. We have 2 beach towels, which are actually really cool. They're giant round beach towels that have the image of Ritmo on it, and then another one with the logo. And I think we have an ashtray in there as well. I think there's the Ritmo ashtray.
I didn't see an ashtray.
Was it in there?
Let me look again. Move it over here. There's no ashtray.
There's no ashtray. Okay. So you don't
there's this guy.
Beautiful. So you have I think I have one right by me here. Yeah. So this is, show it up close. This is a waterproof Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, nice.
Branded Ritmo. And this thing actually is, I bring it everywhere with me. That's why I have it right here. Like, throw it in the car, throw it in the bag. It's at the beach. It's wherever I am, and it sounds fantastic. And you can drop it, you can get it wet, and it works great. And so it's something cool, and it's very limited. I mean, I think those sets, we only did about 25 of them, and it's just for special occasions like this. And so really cool.
And then lastly is the passport case, leather passport.
Nice.
That's it. So
and then we have the huge prize, like the grand prize of them all, which I don't have because you just got them today, Scott.
I just got them today, and I was hoping they were coming. They came from Boston, and there was, anyone from that area knows there was some snow, so I was hoping it would come. But let me grab this. This is the first. This is. Can we see? All right. Yeah. So this is a AVO record player. And it's specifically for the improvisation series. This is number 1 of 30. So we're giving away here to Cigar Fed number 1 of 30, the first one. really awesome thing, and it's from this company U-Turn that we worked with, and they've been really fantastic. And we're gonna have several different versions of this come out throughout the year for retail events or special giveaways, and each one will match up with one of our releases. So as packaging and the branding on AVO Improvs is white with the logo. Yep, the first one is white. As we get into Maduro, we'll go black and so on and so forth, matching the colors. So it's going to be a really cool series, and this thing is just fantastic. I had tried a sample. We bought one, and I mean the sound is magnificent. It's really cool. It's got that classic yet modern look, just like what we're going for this year. So it's a great fit, and we're super excited to give this away on the show. And some lucky person's gonna really enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna be jealous of that person.
Yes.
I was telling Jason, this is the most tempted I've ever been to be like,
enter your
oh,
own.
was there a giveaway? I didn't get the pack.
I didn't. Yeah, never went out.
It never showed up. So while Scott was talking there, I got our giveaway live, so you can go enter now. Just go to CigarFederation.com, click on the CigarChat with AVO logo, and I'll put up another logo once we swap out that first one when we have like another show coming up next week. Jason, I'll let you ask another question before we start talking about cigars again, because we got a lot of cigars to talk about, of course.
Yeah, so obviously it's the 30th anniversary this year. In addition to this kind of series of releases, are there special events planned throughout the course of the year?
Yes, so we have, the focus is, of course, of retail and brick and mortar shops, and we have a ton of events set up already throughout the course of the year, all throughout the country, and we will be doing, a lot of them are around each release. So some stores are doing stuff around Improv, some are doing Maduro, some are doing others, and one of our big items during a promotional period at the store is this really cool speaker, a Bluetooth speaker. It's called Devalier Phantom, and it's a $1,700 speaker, 1,700
Wow.
watts. It like bumps. I mean, I have one in my office somewhere, and if I crank this thing up, the windows are shaking. It's pretty awesome. And it's about, the AVO brand's about music, has this musical equity to it stemming from AVO Uvazian, of course. And again, how do we bring that forward, and how do we give people something exciting on top of the cigars as well, like to get involved with and all of that. So we'll have a ton of events throughout the year. We'll have different tasting seminars and trainings and all of that going on, and probably something really cool during IPCPR as well. And so again, nothing like major at one time. It's kind of like, let's spread it out throughout. Mm-hmm. Let's do a lot throughout the year instead of like one big thing, and let as many people get to join in as possible. And so that's kind of the plan for the year.
All right, let's get to some of these viewer comments. Bob Langmaid has a couple of questions, but I want to pick the best one. Actually, I'll start with his comment that he has, which is he had a buddy try his first AVO yesterday at the shop with him, and he had the Synchro Tubo, and is hooked on him now. And awesome. I have to say, that Tubo, I posted a review of the tube itself. I didn't even post a review of the cigar. I posted a review of the tube, like just as a joke, because that tube is like unbeliubly high quality.
No, that
it's
tube
got like the little swing cap. It's
swing
double
cap, so you pop it up, close it back down. It actually took us way longer than it probably should have to develop that. And when we had talked and planned, it's like we wanted that to come out very shortly after Synchro initially launched. We knew we were doing a box press. We knew it was our first box press as a company, and so we knew it was coming, and it just, the development work that went into it, and what we did in finding the right manufacturer, we ended up doing it almost 2 years later. But it was well received. And I mean, if you pick up a box of 20 of those, that the weight on that thing, and
yeah, and a really surprising thing is you expect tubos to be aluminum. They're all aluminum. Every tubo you've ever touched is aluminum, and this one is like solid heavy gauge steel.
Yes, it is. It's and the way we looked at it, too, it's a gift within itself. Like you can buy this, and it's your regular. You know, tubos are always a little more than non-tubos, 30 cents or 50 cents more. You know, and this is a gift package off the shelf. You know, you give somebody that, and they're excited, and it's functional. You throw it around, you throw it in your golf bag, whatever. The top doesn't fall. You don't lose the top because it's on there. You put it right back on, and I'm super glad we did it. And yeah, it was actually a fun project.
It was a good tubo, and then I'll ask his one of his questions. Bob Dog wants to know who came up with the idea of putting a secondary band on all the different 30-year cigars, and who designed the secondary band.
Great question. We knew, you know, the team, and it's here. It's myself. It's Dylan Austin. It's Sarah Khatib. It's Lynn Hawkins, and then it's we have our team in Basel as well. And we talked about how do we bring this to life? How do we make every cigar special, but make sure that it is part of this collection, you know, and knowing that whichever one you grab, that you're celebrating 30 years of AVO Cigars. So just from inception of the concept of this celebration, it was like, okay, first things first, every cigar gets a secondary band, so we know that it's part of this collection. It's not an Avo Maduro from years ago. It's not whatever, a signature from years back. No, this is the 30 years edition of it. And who designed it? We have a team in Basel, and great to work with. And when we said we wanted not to be overly loud about it, we wanted class, we wanted to fit within the brand, we wanted literally the timeline on it, 88 to 2018, just to make that statement, like here's 30 and here's the year. So when we put that together, yeah, can you see?
Come on, I gotta cover up my face because it knows I'm here. Just not cooperating today.
Yeah, it's tricky.
That's
it's a great looking band though.
These webcams.
Yeah,
I really like the white with the gold lettering, and then just the single stripe to match the color of the upper band in the cigar.
yeah.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. So it was keeping it sleek. It was keeping it again a little modern as well. And white is a color we've never used for AVO. I mean, the closest we've come is cream, and it was like here's a great opportunity to go with white and match what he was known for, his white suit, and bring in we always had either historically silver on the bands or gold on the bands, the foil. And it was like, all right, how do we incorporate both of it? Boom, gold on the secondary band on the 30th, and then silver on the limited edition side. So there's so much to it, and there's a lot of we try to go into it and make it the best it can possibly be, and there's so much to work with there because of the history of the brand and the man and all of that, and that's kind of how we start, you know. And then it's like, what does this 30-year icon look like? And
yeah,
we saw probably 10 or 12 versions, and brought it, basically said, this is clean, this says it all, without saying, you know, says it all without a million words or anything, and we loved it and incorporated it on all the bands.
Nice. Well, so you actually answered two of Bob Dog's questions, because he asked, he said the white packaging is stunning, and has AVO ever used white packaging before? And you nailed
Got
that
it,
one.
right? Look at that.
So I'm gonna pick one of these. Let's see this one's on top. So we'll talk about this cigar when we get back from our break. But Bob, send me an email. I know you know my email address, brother. You're gonna get this little 4-pack of AVO XO Legatos, and then we'll talk about those in just a second.
This show is sponsored by Cigar Oasis. Don't spend all your time worrying about your cigar wrappers cracking, splitting, or falling apart from humidity fluctuation issues. Set it and forget it by choosing Cigar Oasis, a professional solution which provides equal distribution of humidity with precise electronic controls. Monitor your cigars through the internet using the Smart Humidor Wi-Fi attachment. Why don't you spend all your time enjoying your cigars and relaxing, and let Cigar Oasis protect your cigars? Cigar Oasis has solutions for any humidor. Make sure you set it and forget it today.
All right, we're back, and Scott's going to tell us a little bit about the 30th anniversary AVO XO Legatos.
So we have what's cool too about this year, and it's every product. We're celebrating 30 years to every product. So something like AVO XO, and particularly the Legato format. As time goes on, as more of these get into retail and everything, you're going to notice that our regular core items all have that 30-year logo on them. So even the regular production, all of that, we're celebrating it throughout the brand, and it's something to
kind of see if my camera will focus. You can see it. It's got a little sticker in the corner.
That's it. So again, it's the reason the brand's been around for 30 years, and we made it. It's all these products, all these cigars, all these blends have made it happen. You know, have helped make it happen, and have paved the way for the next one and all of that. So again, it's like every which way you go, any product you see for AVO this year, it will have this 30-year icon on it. So you know it's a big celebration all the time.
Just carrying the celebration throughout everything. And then Jay Zarota, Fast Jimmy, has a question. He wants to know if we can get the dates for each of the releases, since they're not all coming out this week. And then, as I mentioned while we were off the air for a minute, that he also, if he wins that record player, he's trading it for a box of AVO Maduros. Hey,
got it. You got it, Jimmy. So the dates. So basically, I'll go through everything. So today was the first day we started shipping improvisations, and then next month, April, I think it's the 23rd, we're shipping Maduro. We start shipping AVO Maduro. Then in June, we start shipping AVO 22. So those of you that have heard of AVO 22 or know, we are bringing it back. And for those of you that have not, it's a great opportunity. I have a box. I just so happen to have a box here. So this is the AVO 22. This was originally launched as AVO's second limited edition back in 2002. And it's iconic cylindrical packaging here, with it always had a tag from the factory basically talking about each of the tobaccos and who was the roller and the blender on it and all of that. So very authentic, and we're able to bring it back again with this modern look with the glass top lid and all of that, and the cigars inside.
Nice.
So, yeah, AVO 22, and that's actually what I'm smoking tonight, which I have to stop smoking so there's some left for everybody else. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And yeah, so this we're super excited about, and it's a great way for us to, it's the first limited edition that we're bringing back to celebrate 30 years. And it's one that there's been a ton of buzz about, you know, when people first heard we're re-releasing it. And again, the original 22, when we had it, it was a nude cigar, no bands, no anything. And again, this year it got its white band. It says 22 on the side, and of course the secondary band. And it's one that is you have a lot of people looking for it, and it's something, you know, definitely smoke right away. They're smoking great, but it is also something, you know, you put away and say, I got some 22s in the back of the humidor. So yeah, so that we're super excited about, and that is in that'll be in June. So great time for Father's Day and kicking off summer. And then we go into one of my favorites, which is AVO Signature. We're bringing that back, and AVO Signature will come in July, August. It'll start shipping in July, and this is going to be something people really get excited about. It's 10-count boxes, which we had original Signature in prior to going to 20-count boxes. So we were able to bring it back in the 10, which is a lot of fun. And it was a blend that was based off of AVO's 75th anniversary. First anniversary limited edition cigar that we ever came out with. And that's where this blend originates from. 3 formats on this: double Corona, Robusto, and one of my favorites of all time is just the Bellicoso we have, which 52 ring gauge, 6 1/4, I think it is, and it just smokes so well. And of course, every box has his signature blend, and I don't know if you can see that, but
yeah, the signature, that's cool.
The signature on it, and it's this beautiful. The way it's done is beautiful gold look to it. So this is going to be a lot of fun, and this will be a great summertime edition. And that blend is always been one of my favorites, and it's one that we didn't continue with in the refresh, and a lot of people were disappointed we didn't. So it makes its return this year. So that'll be July. Then we skip over to September, October, I like to say, and then I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me not get like cord here. All right, so This is LEO5, right? Now this is one of the most limited, I can say it is the most limited AVO cigar we've ever produced, as let's call it a March birthday cigar, limited edition. And this was something that people went nuts for. I remember, I was working retail at the time. I remember my first LEO5. It was outstanding. And what was really cool is this package is about, it's really like a factory direct, straight from the factory. AVO worked with the blenders there and the rollers and everything, and wanted to deliver on, here's from the factory right to you guys. And we kept that look with this. This is basically our bulk packaging. When we get in 100 cigars at a time or 200 cigars, it basically comes in a wide box like this. And so we wanted to keep that look and feel, wanted to modernize it slightly. So you have the special lid on it. And again, you have, I don't know if you can see, it's clear.
Yeah, that's coming through on the camera.
It's coming through. Okay, so again, branded with the LEO5 logo, but these cigars are like out of this world. And it's one of those things where, you light it up or someone lights it up next to you and you smell it and you're like, is that an LEO5? It's got this this memorable aroma that is really out of control. And I don't know, for those of you that remember, but in 2014 we did a release called AVO's Greatest Hits, and it had 14 limited editions, and it was everything we had put out as a brand, and except for the LEO5. There was no LEO5 in there, and it was because we did not feel comfortable with how the blend came out. It was not close. It was like 97% there, but it was not 100, and we all said, no, let's not do it. And Eladio and AVO and Hanky had worked on it after that. It was like a mission. Like, we know we could do this. We know we could get it.
Gotta nail it.
Gotta nail it. And we had no plans after that to release it at the time. But it was something they took on. Like, we were close, but what was it we were missing, or what was getting it closer? And then we got a call, and AVO said, Scott, I just spoke to Eladio, and we got this amazing, we got the LEO5. I'm telling you, it is it. And AVO's from Orlando. I'm in Tampa, and I literally drove over there, and we smoked it together, and it's like, oh, this is it. We got to do something special and all of that. So moving forward, a few years after that, we had the perfect opportunity to bring this back. It is extremely limited, unfortunately, but it's basically 300 cases of 5. So you're talking 1,500 boxes. You're talking,
Yeah, that's not a lot.
Not a lot. So very limited 20 count boxes, but it's something. If you see it, if you see it out there, do yourself a favor and try one. And it's, again, I love being able to have this as a release this year for 2 main reasons. And it's one, for the guys who loved it before that get to revisit it and go back to a time they really enjoyed it, and for the people that have heard about it that thought maybe they never get to try it, will be able to. So look for that, towards the beginning of fall, really September, and then beginning of October, that'll be coming. So really cool. And again, everything as far as pricing goes, we kept it right in the range of our limited edition stuff, and nothing is crazy out of whack. Everything, I mean, the LAO5 is $15.
That's always been a thing that I loved about the AVO line, is that a lot of Davidoffs are expensive.
Right.
It's a super luxury brand, and AVO is just a notch below that, where they're affordable, but they're not cheap, but they're affordable for most people. They're right in line with most premium cigars.
That's right. You can enjoy, again, we don't want to alienate anybody. We want everybody, no matter what your financial status is, to be able to grab an AVO cigar and enjoy it. I mean, that's what AVO the man had always wanted. It's like, no, it shouldn't be too high for this person to be able to enjoy. Maybe you can't smoke them every day, but if you want it on a weekend or every weekend, if you want to have one, you could do that, and we always look to keep it within that range. And this year, I mean, everything, I mean, our AVO Maduro line, I mean, the Robusto's I think we're like $9.75 for that is the retail, and up to 11, and Signature is exactly the same price as it was originally, which was always our most premium line. So it was a little higher, but $13 starting at. And then Improvs, we're right in line with Improvs, which is $16 a piece. And there's nothing out of whack. Everything is so that anyone out there feels like they can take part and experience an AVO, and especially one of these special ones.
Yeah, and I forgot to ask. I meant to ask you about it, but you said the new one, the 30th improvisation, is 16.
16,
is the MSRP?
Correct. Yes, 16 per stick. So, and then to finish the year in October, November, is something cool, something different. Here's Ritmo, right? So, the Synchro pillar has been a huge success for the brand, and it was really based on us venturing out of the Dominican Republic more, getting into Nicaraguan tobacco, getting into Brazilian tobacco, Honduran tobacco, different things, and bringing it in with Dominican tobacco and making it an AVO cigar, but has the flavor profile or the tasting of different regions throughout the world. And it's based off of, again, AVO the man who traveled all over the world for many years. It was like, how do we bring that into cigars and offer that? And I think Synchro has done a really spectacular job in that, and has brought a lot of new people into the brand, and has allowed them to experience what an AVO cigar is when they may not have tried it previously. So super excited about that. So as we finished the year, the 30th edition, it's a collector's edition. They are the same blends. They are the same blends as we have originally. But they are old, they are resting, they are sitting, so it's going to have a little extra age on it. But you have regular formats, you have a 30-year foot band on everything, so you still get a part of that. And these will be limited, 1,000 boxes per format. and they're all the Toro formats within the line. So so it'll be cool to kind of wrap up the year and get in towards the holidays with just something special. And again, as we go through that timeline of AVO products and how it's released, of course, to end it as with our most recent is a great way to do so. So yeah, so that's kind of the timeline. Again, it's March, it's April, it's June, it's July, it's September, and it's October for everything. So there's a lot coming. There's a lot to look forward to, and there'll be a lot of buzz around it throughout the years.
Nice, and that was. I mean, that was all in response to a question. So I do want to note that Jay Zarota sent me an email. You won a pack of, what are these? I can't see them.
You got Fogata Toros.
Fogata Toros.
Yeah.
So send me an email, trip@cigarfederation.com, trip with 2 P's at cigarfederation.com. And I also forgot to mention, we were talking about all the giveaways. Because of the FDA, we have kind of an advantage where we can not get in trouble with the FDA by charging you guys 99 cents for these giveaways. That way it's actually a transaction. So of course you're going to email me, and then I'm going to have to send you over to the folks at the SigFed store, and they'll get your 99 cents so that we can get these shipped out to you. And we're right up against our last break. Our final segment is brought to us by who, Jason?
Drew Estate.
You got to say the tagline.
They good.
There you go.
I was trying to think about talking about a different one each week. So I think this week weather's getting good. I've been into having morning cigars with my coffee. So Underground Shade has kind of been my jam lately.
There you go. That's a good one.
Check those out.
It's got that I don't know. It's got that character of an Underground while still being mild, which I like. Yeah. It's got enough spice and enough there that it keeps you interested. But back to AVO for the moment. We got a couple more audience questions. If you're watching live and you missed it before, you got to ask a question to win some of these prize packs. So ask a question in the comments, and we'll ask it to Scott, and then you get to win something. So Jason, why don't I go through these comments a little bit while you ask a question?
Okay. So what I just said made me think of a question. So Scott, what do you like to start the day with as far as cigars go?
I can go several ways.
I was going to say that's a loaded question.
Yeah,
AVO has a lot of good mornings.
What have you been starting the day with recently?
Right. More recently, honestly, it's Fogata. I've been smoking a lot of Synchro Fogata earlier,
nice.
And it's I smoke it while I drink coffee first thing in the morning. Come in, get situated. I have a coffee, and it works great together. I mean, it really does, and it gives me the flavor on it. The body's a little more like of course I smoked Classic for years in the morning, and then I went into XO, and XO is still, if I say my go-to, if Scott choose one cigar to smoke in the morning within the AVO portfolio, I'm smoking Intermezzo or a Legato XO all day. You got enough flavor. It's not overwhelming, but it's there, and I love that. So really XO, Fogata, and honestly, don't kill me, everybody, but probably the last week or two, I've been smoking 22s in the morning because I go to sleep, and I go to sleep, and then I come in, I'm like, what am I going to have today? And I'm like, I can't smoke a 22. I'm like, all right, I'll smoke one. This is the last one.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it, but I have to stop that, so there's some left. Yeah, I could go a million ways, but those two I would say are my go-to. The XO.
Nice.
All right, we got a good question from Steve Christopher here. Are you going to continue bringing out new stuff at this pace in the future, or is this just going to be a 1-year anniversary thing?
Great question. Not at this pace, no. This is a lot. This is 6.
Yeah, it's kind of breakneck.
Yeah. This is 6 releases within a year. Now, yes, they're all limited, but it's still that's still a lot. And we also want to have cigars available that if you enjoy it, you get to see it every day. It is available at the locations and all that. So no, you're not going to see anything at this pace, but there may be something really cool next year. I mean, we're starting a new chapter. You know, there's 30 years. Here we are. We're celebrating it. So, what does beyond look like? Where do we go from here? So, not going to give much away right now, but I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting, and stay tuned. But you will not have six new blends to look forward to next year. But there'll be.
I mean,
some.
it was worth a shot asking.
Yes, it was. Good question.
And Steve, send me an email to trip@cigarfederation.com. You win a box of these are Synchro Nicaragua Toros, box press Toros. And I wanted to talk about the Synchro Nicaragua a little bit. So the wrapper on that is Connecticut, grown in Ecuador.
Yes, correct. In Ecuador on that.
It's very, very dark for an Ecuadorian Connecticut, which is it's one of those cigars that, like, if you read about it on paper and then open this box, you'd be very surprised at the cigar you're getting. It's like a thick, toothy, dark, Maduro-looking wrapper.
Right, dark and toothy, and it's something like this is what we're gonna do, and it's also, you know, for us box pressing. I mean, and we hadn't done it at the Tabadom, in our factory, Davidoff, AVO, Griffins, all Vizino Platinum.
Yeah,
all
nothing,
and it was not that it was crazy, but it was just we hadn't done it before, so it was something new, and it was like, all right, this is what we want to be able to do, and so it is choosing the right tobaccos, and then our process, doing it our way, and box pressing, and so we want to make sure we have the right wrapper on there and the right blend, and getting it right from the beginning, and we did, because you know, you box press something wrong, it cannot draw, it can crack on the corners, right?
That's the thing a lot of people don't get about box pressing, is you have to roll the cigars a little differently for them to hold up to box pressing, so that they're not just totally plugged.
And the blends too, right? So you have to have a little less tobacco inside, just a hair less, so that when it goes in the press, you get that box shape. If it was packed too tight, you could crack the wrapper. It would get plugged. It would be too tight. So there's a little delicate process. And as it was our first thing, it was just, we want to make sure everything was perfect and everything was right. And it ended up being huge, and really bringing, in my opinion, the brand to the next level, and again, got a lot of new people into the brand, so big hit for us.
Yeah, there's something I was about to ask. Bob Langmaid had a question. Bob Dog, he's hazarding a guess at maybe what's coming out next year. He wants to know if there's any plans, or if you've ever thought about an AVO Candela.
Ooh, hey, I've heard that recently, because we had Camacho Candela this year, which we brought back, which was super exciting. No, we don't have that in the plans, unfortunately. However, now that you say it, maybe down the line more. You won't see it in 19, but maybe down the line we do something really cool. But yeah, no, we don't have any plans right now. But great question.
All right, Jason, I'll let you ask a question. I've been hogging all the time.
Okay, so as we're kind of going into the future here, like right now we sort of have this return of the AVO Maduro. Can you say that there may be returns of like limited production, but we're going to bring back a blend on a somewhat regular basis?
That's actually a really good question. And
it is.
And I could say now we actually don't have that in an immediate plan, you know, for next year. Although of course it is, especially with FDA and everything, and having grandfathered blends, and a lot of them, and really great blends to do that with. Yes, I think it's a great possibility that you see more things return if we can match the blends appropriately. Right, we're authentic. We're not going to say something is what it's not, and so yes, I think, and I can be honest, it's not in an immediate plan for next year, but could there be an opportunity towards late next year or moving forward? Yes, it definitely could be. Definitely could
Nice.
There was a couple that I would have loved to brought back this year, but we couldn't have 10 new releases this year. That would have been
Yeah.
way too late. But you know, things like the LEO9 Compañero is one of my favorites, and was Avo's probably his favorite overall. And even the 85th with that Diadema format and how that's it's just super awesome, and you know, so you go on, LEO7 was outstanding, you know, so there are things that possibly we see later, but again, it's here's 30 years, and it's not that we're closing a chapter or anything, it's just as we get in, it's going to be 30, what's beyond 30 years, so maybe it will be less looking in the past and more to the future on what we can do, so it's wide open, but there is a good chance. There's a good chance you see something.
AVO Cigars is in a unique position because you guys have a lot of predicate blends that you can pull from, because there's been a lot of I don't want to use the word turnover because it's not really turnover, but there have been a lot of blends that have come and gone over the years, and a lot of limited editions that you can pull from, which is good.
Which is great. It's great to have that catalog to be able to look at, and although, you know, for the most part, our core lines and stuff, we didn't have too many. What for the most part, what launched, it went to other than Maduro and Signature. Those were and 787 was, if anyone that remembers that.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Remember 787? Yep. So yeah, we were able to bring those back, and then but the limiteds having at least one every year and really solid stuff does give us a lot to work with. If necessary, you know, so yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Jay Zarota wants to know if there will be any signed boxes for the 30th. If any boxes got signed before Avo's unfortunate passing.
I wish, and unfortunately, no, we did not. We're unable to do that, and we were working on it at the time, and he saw most of this, the final packaging and everything before he passed away, and he gave his I mean, everything you see here was absolutely blessed by him and all of that, and but we didn't get any actual autographed.
In the context of the cigar industry, people don't realize how long it takes to develop cigars and develop branding and stuff like that. And it's good that he was able to at least sign off on all of this stuff and see it before his passing.
It was really cool, and Ripmo too was awesome because we had launched that, and then I had the cigars with me, showing him everything. It was 2 days after his birthday last year, and I was with him the day before or 2 days before on his birthday. So of course every time I would go, which was a lot, I would always have updates, or he'd always have questions. What are we doing? What's this? What's that? Or can we do this? Or what about that? So I'd always have, it was always work first. Like, all right, what are we talking about today? Even his last few weeks and stuff, it was still what's going on. Okay, that color is good. Okay, I like that. Like everything, he was still looking at the details, and he was a guy. If his name is on it, he wants it to be right, and he wants, anyone purchasing it or doing that to feel confident in what they're doing, and myself and most of us here at the company can make sure that continues to happen. I mean, we take a lot of pride in that, and will not let it slip for anything.
And we're at the end of our Armed Forces Radio Network segment, so I want to thank all of our Armed Forces Radio Network listeners. You guys are out there doing things that we're not built to do, protecting our freedoms. We really appreciate that. Thank you for listening, and we hope you have a little bit of rack time to listen to us, maybe smoke a cigar, and just kick back and relax for a little bit. And now we're in our After Dark segment, as we used to call it, because we used to swear a lot, but we've backed off on that because of Facebook. They frown on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Jay Zarota says we should have had the show next week on his actual birthday. That would have been nice, but I kind of like having it on the launch day for the brand new cigar. I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What's up, Bob the Cigar Guy? I see you watching. Shout out. If you haven't watched Bob, check him out. He's got a little YouTube channel. He's a I don't want to offend him, but he's a character. He's got a lot of personality and a lot of energy, and he's really fun to watch. So if you haven't watched him, go do it. Bob the Cigar Guy on YouTube. We got a lot of comments when we were talking about the pricing that a lot of people appreciate. You can afford to buy an AVO cigar and a drink for a reasonable price.
No, that's great. It's everyone included. I mean, that's what we want. And again, it's if you feel you want to be able to try it or whatever, price point shouldn't dictate. Like, I can't do that, you know. And we want it to be attainable for everybody. So.
And I have a question that I expected to come up in the comments, but it didn't. How did you guys decide which cigars you were going to bring back for the 30th anniversary?
Great question. The AVO Maduro was a no-brainer because that was something that we got a lot of. We heard a lot of feedback, a lot of disappointment when we discontinued that, and so that was like, here's our opportunity, and we knew right away that would be it. As far as the actual limited editions in 22 and LEO 5, those have been known from the brand as the two, you know, and the two that have either been people's favorites or really collecting on them, and LEO 5. That was a no-brainer because, again, we didn't have it in 2014, and they nailed the blend after the release of the greatest hits. So we were waiting for an opportunity that made sense, and to bring it back, and so that was clear. And Improvs was great to go off of classic, but to do it Dominican way. Not, you know, when we did Improvs, the first one back in 2015. It was based off AVO Classic, but we added Nicaraguan tobacco. Mm-hmm. And changed. This is no to Dominican. We kept it that way, and we wanted to base it off Classic to start the timeline, if you will, of the 30 years. And Signature made it because what a great cigar. The 10 count boxes, and that's something too. We heard got a lot of disappointment from when we discontinued. So yeah. Everything made sense. There was no, should we add this or should we take this out? It was like, no, these have to go. These have to be there. And there wasn't much talk outside of this. It was boom, 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 done. We got it. Now let's have fun, and let's work on packaging, and let's make sure we're staying true to the past, but have that modern look to it, and being able to even see AVO Maduro, where, you know, in 2015 when we launched we had new bands made, the AVO logo brighter and bigger, and to be able to see the same type of style on a Maduro and a Signature now, it's cool. And it was fun to work on all the way through.
All right, and I decided while you were talking, since we're not getting enough audience questions, we're getting a lot of interaction, but not a lot of questions from people who haven't already won something. So I'm going to give these two away on the podcast. And of course, I'm holding them up, even though our podcast listeners can't see them, which I should have thought about that before I did it. So I've got a 4-pack of the AVO Heritage and the AVO Classic. These are both Robusto Tubos. If you're listening to the podcast, send me an email to trip@cigarfederation.com. Put AVO Podcast in the title. I'm going to do something different. Usually it's just the first people who respond. I'm going to give you guys until the contest ends. So you have 2 weeks from the time we're recording this. So it'll be about a week and a half from when we post it. But Scott, can you tell us a little bit about the Classic and the Heritage for people who are not in the know?
Absolutely. AVO Classic is again the first blend we launched back in '88, and it was the first blend, and it was designed and then blended to be super inviting to everybody, and it's a mild to medium, but smooth, creamy Dominican through and through. It is a cigar that, you know, in my history working with the brand and hearing from a lot of people and talking to people over the years, you know how many times I heard AVO Classic? It was the first cigar I ever smoked, you know, and I'm in that boat and all of that. So it is a great cigar, consistent through and through. You know, not overwhelming, not overpowering, nothing like that. You first time cigar smoker can enjoy it thoroughly, but seasoned cigar smoker, same thing. You know, it has no limits. It doesn't keep people away. So it's just something that at any point, a great morning cigar, great golf cigar, it can work before dinner, after dinner, all of that.
Yeah.
So it's very versatile and it's consistent all the way through. So classic is just, I mean, that is our flagship line, if you will, the AVO Classic. So it's a great one for that. And then AVO Heritage, Dominican, but fuller, a little fuller bodied, great flavor on it. It's definitely richer. You get, you know, some coffee notes in there, a little leathery taste, and at the time when we launched that, which was in 2010 summer, that was by far our strongest and fullest bodied cigar, and it was one that again kind of took AVO out of this mild to medium thing and brought it up another notch, and was a great success for us as well. And the blend on that was based off of, it wasn't the exact same, but was based off of AVO Compañero, which was the 2000 limited edition. And it's a great cigar. I like that later in the day. I'm usually don't grab that first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a great afternoon cigar, and with a drink, I mean, I've had that probably, if I'm drinking wine, I end up finding myself going to a Heritage. If I'm drinking a red, a Cab, a Merlot or something, I find Heritage for me works that way. Works great with red, great red. You know?
I was gonna ask, because all of our viewers know our other show is a pairing show, where we enjoy pairing cigars with several different beverages. Last week we actually did wine, and I was gonna ask what some of your pairings are.
Yeah, I mean, so Heritage.
Do you have any other good ones?
Heritage in a Cab. What am I doing with Ritmo? Has been fun. I mean, I've been doing a couple different things, and it's been I've actually done, you know, more. I've done bourbon with it. I like it. I think it works well, and I find for me bourbon and the first Synchro Nicaragua. Like, I've been on an Angel's Envy kick lately.
Oh, there you go.
Synchro's been my go-to for that, the original. Ritmo, I'm trying a couple of different things, and I don't know. I haven't found something I truly fits that yet, and again I haven't had the time like on some of the others to work on it.
Yeah.
So we're getting there, and for me, Fogata goes well with a lot. I mean that to me that blend of cigar, to go with a vodka-based drink, something lighter, something maybe even a little sweet, is Fogata to me is great. It's not overpowering, and it's not, you get a lot of flavor. So as long as the drink doesn't mask that, you know, I don't do it with a Scotch. I don't do it with something too heavy. It fits a lot. So I'm all over the place, honestly. Like I enjoy. It's fine. Isn't that the fun of pairing though? It's like,
exactly. That's why we've done 141 episodes of our pairing show, because we're still finding stuff that works together.
And things you wouldn't even think of or no, and it's like, let's just try it, you know, and it could be a disaster or it could be awesome. And worst thing is you pour out the drink, or you don't you never put out the cigar, you pour out the drink. But so it's fun. So it's an ongoing process. And
this seems like the perfect opportunity. I was going to plug it at the end of the show when we close out, which we're almost to the end of the show, so we'll let you go in a few minutes, Scott. But next week, sharing our pairings, it's just like, it was just good timing. We had already planned it out. We were looking for the perfect cigar to go with gin, because gin, we've had people begging us to do a gin episode, and I love gin. The problem is gin does not go with many cigars very well. And gin's very polarizing, of course. But we are pairing the AVO Ritmo next week with a couple of different gins. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes, because I think that's got the right kind of sweet, fruity character to go with gin. And then we'll close out with one more question. Bob the Cigar Guy says he's never had an AVO and he can't find them in his area. He's heard they lean towards a European palate. Is that true? And I have my own answer for this, but I'll let you answer, Scott.
Okay, so where I want to say where are you from? Because we should.
I know exactly where he is. He's in Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Okay. I'm sure there's somewhere around there. Pretty much anybody who carries Davidoff is going to have.
It definitely would
have.
Absolutely. I'll look at, but it's Bob the Cigar Guy. I'll remember that.
Bob the Cigar Guy.
All right, and we'll get you an answer on where the closest place is. And is it made to European palate? So AVO is the man is he's Armenian from Lebanon, right? And so that's his palate. But he has a very he never stayed in the same place too long, right? He lived all over the place, and really had a diverse palate as well. So you have him working on cigars. You have on the blends. You have Eladio, who's a master blender at our factory, and Davidoff, and you have Henke Kellner as well. So is it European? I would say no. Is it a lot of different things? Yes. It's a great question, but I wouldn't say necessarily it was based for a European. It could have started that way more because AVO's experience overseas more and through Europe is where he was spending a lot of time with people. But as that went on, I mean, we were definitely more of a U.S. center. It's definitely a bigger brand in the U.S. than it is globally. Although there's a global presence, all over through Europe, through Asia, and all of that. But it is definitely U.S. now.
I'll give Bob my answer, which is a lot of the older stuff is what you would think of as the European palate. They're a little more elegant, less spicy, less intense, but still kind of rich. And then as the brand grew, a lot of the Maduro is kind of a stronger, more rich, intense cigar. And then the Synchro series it still holds the character of the original kind of style, but it's got a little more intensity, and it's a little more like what people call the modern palate.
That's a good answer. Yes. Yes, very good trip. Yes.
All right, and I'll let Jason ask your last question, your typical last question.
Okay, so where can we find you on the internet?
Where can you find AVO Cigars?
AVO Cigars.
How can people learn more? How can people follow AVO Cigars and stuff like that?
Excellent. So go to we're on Instagram, on Facebook, AVO Cigars. Check us out, and we'll have a lot of new social content coming soon for this year. And again, we're gonna go back. It's gonna be fun. So check in consistently at AVO Cigars on those two platforms, and there's going to be a lot of storytelling. There's going to be a lot of fun things to see this year, and it's going to be a full celebration for the next. What are we in March already? Oh, over 9 months. And there'll be, again, overarching AVO 30 years, but again, with each product, we'll have something fun that plays a part of it, and there'll be something new every other month coming out. So definitely stay tuned for that, and it's a great opportunity for us through social and all of that to talk about the history and do all of that. So it'll be a fun year to engage with the brand.
Awesome. Well, thank you, of course, to Scott. We appreciate you joining us tonight. All these giveaways, we're really excited to give all this stuff away to some of our listeners. Thank you, of course, to everybody who's watching live, all of our YouTube viewers, and, of course, all of our podcast listeners. We know you guys are are out there in droves, as Cigar Surgeon used to say. We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys listening. We'll be back next week with another episode. Stay tuned for who the guest is, because we haven't quite nailed that down. And everybody have a great weekend.